Welcome to FEUNIX Distinctions, your premier channel for academical content. I'm here to talk about the smarter secret to academic excellence. First, let's define excellence. Excellence can be defined as the state or quality of being outstanding or extremely good. The word smarter is an acronym for the key principles to achieving academic excellence. That is SMARTER. S stands for study after every class. M stands for master the art of consistency. A stands for ask, don't assume. R stands for remove distractions. T stands for tailor your study style. E stands for embrace failure and keep going. And R stands for run with the right crowd. I am Felix Dominic, an engineer by profession and a teacher by passion. Don't forget to subscribe to FEUNIX Distinctions today and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Thank you for joining me. I welcome you to today's class, SS2 class. And we're moving on to lesson 4. In lesson 3, we started the logarithm of numbers less than 1. And we are going to continue with logarithms of numbers less than 1. This time around, we are going to be looking at powers and roots of numbers. Powers and roots of numbers less than 1. Less than 1. We are going to solve two examples that have to do with powers and roots. The first example is going to be on power, then the second example will be on roots. Example 1. Evaluate 0.085 raised to the power of 3. We are to evaluate this number. If we solve this question will cover power. Then the second question will be on root. As usual, if we are finding logarithm of number, the first thing we do here, we draw our lines. Where here we have our number, and this other side for the logarithm. So we're starting 0.083. By the time we find the logarithm of this number, then we'll know what to do with the power. Because there is a rule for power and there is a rule for roots. Well, let's start by finding the logarithm. As usual, this is logarithm of number less than 1. So therefore, the decimal is going to move to the right hand side till we move it after the first significant figure. Where is the first significant figure? This is the first significant figure. So how many times is it going to move to find itself after the first significant figure is 2 times. It's going to move across this one and it's going to move to this place. So it's 2 times. That 2 times that it moved, we're going to write it as bar 2. That is -2 because it is a small number. By the time we write bar 2, we put our points. Now remaining the other side of the logarithm, that is the mantissa. What are we going to check in our four-figure table? We are going to check 83 under 0. We'll check 83 under 0, so you can turn to your four-figure table, logarithm of numbers. If you check it, you are going to see the number 9294. 9294. Yes, you will see the number 9294. Now, what are we going to do with the power? That's the most important part of this work. The power. That is our 0.083 raised to the power of 3. Raised to the power of 3. Whenever you have power, we multiply the logarithm with the power. That is to say, this logarithm, we are going to multiply it with the power. That is the power, which is 3. Anytime you have power, you multiply with the power. Anytime you have roots, you divide with the roots. And now the multiplication, you have to do it carefully in order to avoid mistakes. This is the point where students makes a lot of mistakes. Let's go on with the multiplication. We are going to multiply, first of all, we are going to multiply this 3 with this very number here, not with the 2. We multiply this 3 with this number. After we multiply it, before we can now multiply this 3 with this 2. And by the time we multiply this 3 with this number, if there is any whole number, we'll take the whole number to add it up with what we obtain when we multiply the 3 with this number. Please, let's practicalize this now. Let's do our multiplication. 3 will multiply this number, that is 0. We are going to write 0.9294. 3 times 0.9294. That will give us 2.7882. That will give us 2.7882. So at this point, this 2 is what we are going to take for the next multiplication. So we are going to write this one down. We'll write 0.7882. We are going to keep this 2 for these parts of the logarithm. Now let's do the other part of the multiplication. This 3 will multiply this very number. That is, this 3 will multiply this bar 2. And what's the meaning of bar 2? Bar 2 means minus 2. That is, 3 is multiplying minus 2. That will give us minus 6. Now it is now that we are going to add this very 2 with the minus 6 for us to be able to balance this number that's supposed to be here. So minus 6 plus 2, that will give us minus 4. So in writing it here, we'll not write it as minus 4, but as bar 4. Bar 4. Then we'll now come here and write our bar 4. So this is bar 4.7882. So at this point, we are going to find our anti-log. We find our anti-log. We'll check 0.78 under 8, then difference of 2. 0.78 under 8, difference of 2. Let's check. 0.78 under 8 will give us 6138. 0.78 under 8 will give us 6138. Difference of 2 will give us 3. Difference of 2 will give us 3. So we'll add up with the difference now. Let's add up with the difference. 8 plus 3, that will give us 11. Write down 1, carry 1. 3 plus 1, 4. And then we have our 1 and 6. That makes it 6141. 6141. It's now that we make use of the bar 4. It's now that we make use of the bar 4. Bar 4 means we are going to move our decimal 4 times to the left. And where is the decimal? I've explained this over and over. We usually assume that the decimal is after the first significant figure, just the way we used to balance it to standard form. This is the first significant figure, so the decimal is after the first significant figure. That is, we assume that the decimal is here. If we have bar 4, we will move the decimal 4 times. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4. The decimal is here now. Then we'll fill all these spaces with 0, and then put 0 here before the decimal. So our answer will now be 0. All these zeros, 0, 0, 0, 6, 1, 4, 1. That's our answer. Let's have another example, example 2. Example 2 says evaluate 4 roots 0.0007. Please watch carefully. After this example, I will leave you with some work. We'll continue with the process. As usual, we'll draw our lines. We're going to draw our lines. Here we have our number. Here we have our log. And this is the number 0.0007. What's the first thing? The first thing is to get our integer. How do we usually get our integer? By moving the decimal till it gets to cross the first significant figure. This is the first significant figure. We'll cross it. How many times are we going to cross it? We'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that will give us bar 4. That will give us bar 4. And then we put our decimal point. The next thing we are going to check, this is 7. We can't check 7 under 0 because the 4-figure table, the logarithm of number starts from 10. So it can't be 7 under 0. It has to be 70 under 0. You check 70 under 0. If you check 70 under 0, that will give us 8451. That will give us 8451. So now the roots. 4 roots 0.0007. What do we do with roots? Whenever you have root, please you divide. Example 1 is power. Whenever we have power, we multiply. Example 2 is roots. Whenever we have roots, we divide. So we are going to divide by the roots, which is 4. So at this point you need to be very, very careful, because in the division you have to divide it part by part. You first divide these parts. After you divide these parts, the whole number, you will carry it and keep the whole number. Then you write down the decimal parts. Then you will now come and divide these other parts. Whatsoever you obtain, you add it up with the whole number that you took when you are dividing these parts. Please watch this carefully. So let's do our division. Let's start with this part. And this part is 0.8451 divided by 4. We are going to divide this. If you divide this number, you will get 0.211275. Yes, this is the number you are going to obtain. So this is the whole number side that we are to take and keep it for the second division. And this is 0. 0 don't have any significance. So it cannot add anything nor subtract anything. Let's move on to the second part of our division. Meanwhile, let me keep this one. Let me keep it here. Let me keep it here. 0.2113. I have to round it up to 4 decimal places. That's why we call it 4-figure table. You have to round it to 4 decimal places. So these 4 numbers, you check the next one. If it is 5 and above, you can round this one up, and that's how we got this 3. Let's do the second division. 4 is dividing by 4. Let's do the division here. 4 is dividing by 4. What is by 4? Minus 4. So I can patiently write it as 4 divided by minus 4. 4 divided by minus 4 will be minus 1. Right. So minus 1 means by 1. If we are to write it in logarithm. So that's the second division. Now that we have gotten it, supposing this 0 is one serious number, we'll add it up with this very one here. That is plus 0. In fact, if you feel like adding it, anything plus 0 is still that thing. So it remains by 1. Then we'll now come here and write our by 1. So we have by 1.2.113. So we'll now move to the last stage. That is, we have to check the anti-log table. We have to check the anti-log table. So in the anti-log table, we are going to check 0.21 under 1. Then difference 3. 0.21 under 1. 0.21 under 1 will give us 1626. Difference of 3 will give us 1. When we add up with the difference, we are going to be having 6 plus 1, 7. And then this is this 2. Here's our 6 and our 1. That is 1627. 1627. Now by 1. By 1 means we are to move the decimal once. We have to move it to the left. And where is the decimal? We said at this point, we assume the decimal is at the standard form. That is after the first secant figure. Where is the first secant figure? This is the first secant figure. So the decimal is here. We move it once. Moving it once, it crosses to this side. So therefore, our answer will be 0 points. That is this very point. You have to write 0 before the point. 0.1627. This is our final answer. So at this point, I'm going to leave you with assignment. I'll leave you with 4 questions to solve for me. Do well to do these assignments. Evaluate the following. Evaluate the following. Question number 1. Evaluate 0.6927 raised to the power of 2. If your work is correct, the final answer you are going to obtain is 0.4797. Question number 2. Evaluate 0.4934 raised to the power of 3. If your work is correct, your final answer will give you 0.1201. Question number 3. You have to evaluate 3 roots 0.3887. If your work is correct, your final answer will give you 0.7298. Question number 4. You have to evaluate 5 roots 0.00891. If your work is correct, your final answer will give you 0.3890. Thank you very much. Do well to press the subscription button so that you will get notified whenever we release the next video. Also like this video and share. And then for the assignment, give me a feedback. Solve this assignment, snap your work and send it to me on WhatsApp through this same number 08061573528. Thank you and have a nice day.